Hello guys, today I'm going to talk about two different types of goals in my experience with skill building. These are the most important types of goals. I'm going to try to keep it kind of short and concise. I tried to record this a second ago and I ended up just saying random things, so I'm going to try to keep it a little more focused. Here we go. So I believe there are two important types of goals. One goal is vision goals and the other goal is challenge goals. So let's talk about vision goals first. So I think this is applicable to pretty much any skill. The vision goal is like your overarching vision for where you see yourself going or what you see yourself becoming when you do your skill. So for example, if you want to learn guitar, maybe your goal is eventually I want to be able to hear a song and play it by ear. I want to be able to play any song. Maybe I want to be able to like shred and, do insane solos, or maybe I want to become a great fingerstyle guitarist. This is like your overall vision goal, and normally this is like very connected to changing yourself personally as well. It's like, what kind of person will I become once I can do this goal? Like, I know it's not just about becoming a good guitar player, but also like leveling up as a person as well. So that's what I classify as like vision goals. So like for me, let me think of a good one. For example, I'm learning Japanese. My goal was to become good enough at Japanese to use it like in the workplace and to, have relationships fully in Japanese and not need to use English when I'm speaking with people in Japanese. So that was kind of my overarching vision goal. I've learned many things too. Let me think of another one. For example, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, my overarching vision goal wasn't to become necessarily like a black belt. So I'd be careful about saying, oh, for Japanese, I want to be fluent, or I want to be a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, or I want to be high elo in chess. I think those goals, sometimes they're not the best because then you get too focused on that objective, but it's better to have like a more overarching goal. So what was the one I was talking about? Jiu-Jitsu. My goal in Jiu-Jitsu was I want to be better than almost everybody in my gym. I want to be able to at least compete with everybody in my gym. It wasn't about like the ranking I got. It was more about building the skill level higher and higher, right? Because, if you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there are many black belts who are not that good, and there are many purple belts who absolutely destroy everybody in the gym. So it's more about, having that vision for where I want my skill level to be versus like the tangible or the belt color or the elo or etc. Okay. All right, next up is challenge goals. So these, like I said, the vision goals are kind of your overarching where you want to go personally. And the next up is challenge goals. And these are like miniature goals that you want to accomplish maybe on a shorter time frame, right? So for example, when I started learning guitar, my first goal was to learn to play Take It Easy by the Eagles. Many people, when they start learning a skill, they're scared to set like a difficult goal for themselves. But I think these challenge goals, they can be really difficult or they can be really simple. Maybe your challenge goal is you just want to learn an F chord when you learn to play guitar, or you want to learn to play a bar chord. And I think that's great. I don't think that those kind of, I want to learn F chord or a bar chord. I think it's better to pick like a song you want to learn or like a certain piece of a song you want to learn. I think that's better because when you pick like a bigger, more difficult goal, like learning a full song, you'll find that, okay, hold on, rewind. I want to explain two subsets of the same way to do something and why I think that my version is better. So one version of, for example, learning guitar is you could learn how to play a G chord, you could learn to play a C chord, a D chord, you could learn all the chords from like a tutorial video. You could practice the chords by themselves every day. Then you could learn bar chords, you could practice the bar chords by themselves. The other way is you could try to learn a song, like Take It Easy, and in that song you'll find there are all kinds of different chords you need to learn. There are all kinds of different little maneuvers on the guitar, whether it's like a hammer on or hammer off. Honestly, I can't even remember the terminology of guitar because I learned so long ago. But you may need to learn like bar chords, slides, all this thing. So as you try to learn that more difficult challenge goal, all like the smaller goals make themselves evident and you have to like complete those small goals. It's kind of like a video game. You want to progress in the main story, but your level isn't high enough. But your goal is like keep progressing in the main story, right? Learn to play that song, but you have to complete the side quest, which is like learn a G chord, learn a C chord, blah 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 blah, learn a hammer on. So I think it's better to set those smaller, like challenge goals, like learning a song, or maybe in jujitsu you're like, I want to learn a triangle submission, so I'm gonna focus on triangles for however long. And then you try to integrate that into your game. So those are challenge goals, and those are important. And I think people get too stuck on trying to complete them too. If something's too hard for you, pick something easier. Do whatever gives you motivation. It's important to stay motivated. But yeah, that's basically it, I think. So you have your vision goal, your overreaching goal, and then your challenge goals, which are your more specific goals, like learning a song, or maybe in Japanese, for example, for language learning, I want to learn what the meanings of a lyrics to a song. Or maybe I want to read basic news articles. Or maybe I just want to learn hiragana, and if I want to learn hiragana, maybe I pick like a short story and then, translate that all into hiragana and then just use that to practice hiragana, right? But the main thing is learning your skill in context, which is the point of this challenge goal. So maybe I'll make a different video of that. But yeah, it's really important, I think, to have both sets. And one thing I wanted to mention is like, sometimes people think like with these goals and things, you need to set like a time frame. I think it's most important just to follow your motivation. And honestly, if you're not motivated to learn something, then you're probably not going to do very well, and maybe it's not the right thing for you. Now, at the beginning, it can be very difficult, so I say don't give up, give it a good shot. But you also need to be honest and check in with yourself about whether or not it's something you really want to do. And all of these things I'm talking about here could probably be entirely their videos of their own. But anyways, as you can tell, my skill level at creating videos and monologuing is quite low, unfortunately. But you got to start somewhere. So yeah, this is my first video. If you agree with what I had to say, leave a note in the comment. If you disagree, leave a comment. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next time. Appreciate it.